Hello everybody, Blue Line Gaming here, and welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. Now, right now we're on our way to the store. If you remember in the last video, we had our grass field that we baled and wrapped to make silage bales. Right now we're heading over to the store. I've already leased the auto stacker so that we can get these bales transported to the BGA, which we will probably have to purchase to sell at. I don't remember, but we're going to get these bales transported over to the BGA and sold there because that's going to be our best price on silage, and then possibly look into working on getting a sheep farm going so we can get a constant stream of income from the wool. Our barley field is not where I want it to be as far as growth levels, so it's going to be hard to get that field harvested in this video. This video is probably going to be primarily getting set up for our sheep. That's a tight turn. I don't think I'm going to make that, so I'm probably going to have to go out this way and turn around. Now, what I would like to do, that sheep farm is going to be costly to start up. We're going to need grass over there. We're going to need everything for the sheep. So we're going to have to look into possibly selling our smaller Massey Ferguson tractor. I don't really think we're going to get much use out of it. Most of the machinery we have requires more horsepower than that tractor has. So what we'll probably end up doing is selling that off and using some of that money to start up our sheep farm. Once I get back over to the farm, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about as far as what we're going to need for our sheep. We're going to have to get a water trailer, as well as purchase the sheep farm itself, and possibly some equipment to work on that side of the farm, although we always could work in our current grass field and then just transport grass bales over to the sheep area. The sheep field is on the other side of the map from our current farm, so it would be a little ways to go on transporting. That's the next turn. I can never remember which turn it is. Sometimes I have to look at the map to remember. So that's the plan for today, is to try and get the sheep set up. You can see a little bit over these hedges. Our barley field is not quite where it needs to be to get harvested in this video. That will definitely be Thursday's video, this getting harvested. Today, like I said, the focus is primarily going to be on getting started with our sheep farm. Now, and that could change. It's going to depend what happens. If we sell this silage at the BGA, we won't get paid until midnight. Obviously, we'll have leasing costs with our auto stacker, and I still have the bale wrapper on lease. But real quick, before we get started collecting all of these bales, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about with the sheep farm. So, in order to get started with the sheep farm, first off, we've got to buy this area over here, Field 21 and the little farmyard attached to it. Now, that in and of itself is $43,000. We're currently sitting a little over $9,000. So we're going to have to make a hefty sum from our silage bales that are sitting over here in Field 4. Top of that, probably would not be a bad idea to purchase Field 26 as our primary grass working field. Field 21 is the sheep pasture. The sheep enclosure is on that field. I don't really want to be working in the field once we have sheep in there. So Field 26, which is another $48,000. That might be unattainable for now, so we might have to work on Field 4 as a grass field for a little while. Then on top of that, we're going to have the cost of getting the water trailer so we can give our sheep water, and the grass that we need to feed the sheep. So what I'm thinking is we'll probably sell the Massey Ferguson here. It's going to give us about $76,000, plus we can sell our front loader stuff because we're not going to need that without the front loader tractor. The problem then becomes feeding our chickens with those bags of chicken feed, which once those bags are gone, that won't really be an issue anymore. That's kind of what we need the front loader for right now. But I'm thinking we'll probably be able to make do without that Massey Ferguson tractor. So that's probably what we're going to end up doing, because we're going to have all that initial startup cost plus the the cost of the sheep themselves. But right now we're going to get going on the silage bales. I'm hoping that this works. I could be wrong. We'll test before I cut over to a time lapse of getting this all picked up and sold. Yeah, works perfectly. So we're going to get all these bales picked up and sold real quick, and we'll see you guys when that's done.
Giving up, letting go, times we might feel compelled, looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us. We're trying to find
Alright guys, I know that was a quick little time lapse, just getting these bales picked up. What we're going to do, I'm thinking that I'm going to have to purchase the BGA to sell at it. It looks like it. Let's just see. Let's go over here. That's not a bad price, but I feel like the BGA would be a better price. $344 per 1,000 liters. Each bale is 10,000 liters. That's not a bad price. I'm going to look into the BGA thing off screen real quick, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, guys. So what I've done, I went ahead and purchased the land right here for the BGA. It was $27,000. Used the Easy Development mod to just kind of give me the money for that. And the price is not that much different. I would have been just fine selling them at the barn, which is right across the street. So that was a waste of time. I'm just going to sell these at the barn. We get that instant payoff there, and it's only $16 per 1,000 liters difference. Like I said, we still have 130,000 liters of silage here, so it's going to be a good amount. I'm not good at mental math, but it's going to be a good amount of money here on this trailer. So we're going to get that sold. Get all these bales over here sold. And see if we have enough to kind of start working towards the sheep and goat farm. We should be able to at least get that started in this video and start working towards our sheep. Obviously, we're going to need more grass for our sheep. So that's something we're going to have to figure out. I might just do some of that off screen because the last two videos were mainly grass work. But that way we can get the sheep started, get our stream of income from those the sheep with the wool. And so let's get these bales sold off, and then we'll move on to getting the sheep done. All right, so that made us $44,000. That gets us basically enough to purchase the sheep farm with the field. And I mean, $44,000. It's not great. It's not a ton of money. Like I said, purchasing it or selling those bales at the PGA wasn't going to make us that much more money. So it doesn't really make that big of a difference that we just sold them over here at the bale sell point. Where that's going to make a difference is going to be when we start looking into doing like a silage pit for money. But for now, selling them there is fine. We've got the field baled and sold, which was a big thing that I wanted to get done. We're going to hang on to this auto stacker again because we're going to need it again. We'll just put it over with the bale wrapper. That's going to be probably the best place for it. I don't really have anywhere else better to put it. I don't know how often I'm actually going to use it. We'll just have to see. With adding sheep in, it's going to be used a lot more. Eventually we'll get to the point where we take it off of lease and just purchase it, so we're not paying those leasing costs and hourly use fees and all the things like that that are going to eat up our money. But we've got to be making the money to justify $70,000 for a trailer to pick up and transport bales. So that being said, we're gonna, I hate to see it go because it's such a good yard tractor, but I think the Massey Ferguson has served its purpose on this farm. It's a good little bit of starting equipment. And I know I could get more money if I actually drove it to the shop. Mostly I'm just too lazy to do that when I can just double click it. That's going to get us $76,000 off that. And then we'll get another little bit, not much, from our front loader. And that gives us $137,000, which is more than enough to get started on our sheep farm. So what I'm going to do real quick off screen, I'm going to purchase the sheep farm, and then we'll work on getting the equipment that we need for that farm. All right, guys. So here we are at the sheep farm. I went ahead and purchased it and the grass field over there I was talking about, field number 26. This is our sheep pasture. It's fairly large pasture. Large grass field. You've got your food point over there. Your water fill point is over here in the inside the pasture itself. Over there we've got a little shed with some goats, or a place for goats. A little storage shed, another little storage shed, another little farmhouse. With it getting so close to being dark, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next in-game day. And tomorrow morning we will start getting ready for bringing sheep to the farm. All right, guys. So now it's bright and early. 5:45 the next morning. So what we're going to look at is, I'm just going to get my tractor up under the barn here. Go ahead, turn it off, save our gas, or diesel, or whatever you want to. If you want to be that picky about it, that's fine. So what we're going to do, the store doesn't open until 8 a.m., but we're going to go ahead and be preparing for that store to open. Now, the biggest things we're going to need our water trailer, which is $9,500. I could buy one used and save $1,900, but is it really worth it to have to fix it and do all that? I don't think so. So we're just going to go ahead and get that. Then we've got to get... We really need to bring our mower over from the other farm and bring it over here. What I'm going to look into doing in the future, I've got this Crone Easy Cut mod. It automatically puts the grass into a nice swath for you, so we don't have to mess with the windrower and all of that. That's what I'm going to look into in the future, but obviously it's $106,000 for both the front and rear mowers. It's not something we can afford right now, so we're going to have to stick with our current mower, which is not a bad mower. It's the Kuhn GMD 4411. It's not a bad mower. It's got a decent working width. But that's what we're going to have to stick with. So we've got our water trailer purchased. Biggest thing is going to be getting our mower over here, as well as our baler. It's easier to store grass in bales. I could go with a loading wagon, but they're cumbersome, they're hard to maneuver, and these fields are small. I feel like bales is going to be the easier option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip over to the cow farm. It's going to be a couple trips back and forth while we're killing time waiting for the store to open, so I can get my mower and my baler over to this side of the farm. If I can attach that rear mower to the front of this tractor, then I will do that, and then attach the baler on the back and only make one trip. But I'm going to zip over there and try and get all this stuff back to its new home.
Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing up?
Alright guys, so we're back over here at the sheep farm. We've got the mower and the baler over here. What I think I'm going to do in preparation for the sheep is I'm going to go ahead and look into getting a tractor for this farm, so we don't have to keep moving the same tractor back and forth between two farms. Obviously this was not the best way to transport the baler and the mower. Would have been better to make two trips or get a low loader or something like that, but that's not a luxury that we can exactly afford right now. I'm gonna look into probably leasing a tractor. I've got to look at the cost. There's a couple of tractors I would like to use, a couple of modded tractors that I would like to use over here on the sheep farm, but it's just going to depend on the cost. Now, one of the tractors I have in mind, it's way too big, but it's not going to hurt anything to have something too big, because we've got a fairly large baler and we're going to get a bigger mower. But the other thing you may have noticed in that time lapse over to back to the cow farm is our barley field is ready to harvest. So in all reality, I'm going to need the baler on the other side of the map, but that's something that we can do in another episode. Get the swath baled up. I think where we're going to leave this episode, I'm going to get that field harvested and collected. Maybe sell off some of it, hold some of it back for the chickens. We'll have to see. Depends on how much we get and what the price for barley is. We're in a position where we can afford to hold back this first crop harvest. We don't really have to worry about selling off the crop right away, because we do have the money that we need to survive for now. We've got $33,000. That's enough money to keep us afloat, not long term, but in the short term. Go ahead and turn those lights off. The $33,000 will keep us afloat. But what we're going to do is we're going to break out our harvester for the first time, get that into the barley field. We'll break out our little dump truck and the tipper trailer that we have, our little grain trailer, because that'll give us probably more storage capacity than we need. We'll see. We might just use the dump truck for now and then break out our grain trailer if we need it. Either way, I'm going to get this front weight moved out of the way just in case we do need it. So I'm just going to go ahead and hook that back up to our case here, and we'll park him out of the way just over here in this little storage shed. We'll just park him here for now. Then we'll hop into our Massey Ferguson. It's got our header trailer with our header on it. We'll come out, get this harvest going so we can get this field harvested and turned around, probably turned into a more profitable crop. Now, it's going to look funny because I'm going to have to drive into the crop. I believe, yeah, the header is going to be too wide to go through the gate. So we'll have to drive into the crop just a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but it's something I'd like to avoid doing if I can. I don't have crop destruction on, so we're not going to lose out on any profit from the field because of it. But it just, for realism's sake, you wouldn't be driving through your crop just to attach a header to your harvester or get the harvester into the field. What we're going to do, though, is I'm going to go ahead and get this field started harvesting and see where it goes. I am going to leave the straw swath on because I plan on baling it up possibly in the next episode. I'm not sure exactly when we'll be baling it up. I'm also not sure the exact capacity of this baler or harvester. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this field harvested as quickly as possible. I don't want to do too long of a time lapse on it, but it's probably going to be a fairly decent length time lapse. So I'm going to go ahead and get this harvested up. We'll see if we can fit it all into the dump truck without using that tipper trailer. But if we have to use it, we have that option.
Where am I going now? Just falling over dreams. Now I'm just so far gone, this isn't what it seems. Taking me so damn long, it's fading from belief. I need to slow this down, it's burning from beneath. Come break this line before tomorrow dies. Holding on for what is worth my life. I'm all inside, I'll make it up the vine. Find my way to giants in the sky. Tonight it comes to life.
All right, guys. So clearly, I'm gonna need that little tipper trailer after all. Um, one full load, one almost full load on the harvester, and our dump truck is full. I believe I can attach this to this. Maybe not. Well, there goes that plan. So what I'm gonna have to do is get either just dump this into the silo, which is conveniently not far, and just cart back and forth. So where is the dump point for the silo then, is my question. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I've never harvested. Is it like in some weird spot like over here, or is it just something stupid? I've never harvested on this map before, or on this particular farm on this map, so I'm not sure where the unload point. It looks like it would be right here, but there it is. Just for some reason didn't hit the trigger. Well, I don't know why it's dumping to the side, but that's fine. We'll dump that out. I'm probably going to do the majority of this harvest off screen. Otherwise, this video is going to run way too long. It's already going to be a little longer than I want it as it is. And I haven't really gotten a whole lot done. But it's slow moving progress, guys. Just go ahead and... Oh, it's only left or right. It doesn't tip back. Okay. It's slow moving progress. We'll get more progress. We'll get quicker as the series progresses. We'll have better equipment. I think best thing for us is going to be a bigger harvester. We'll see. Just put this here for now. We'll get back into our harvester. And I want to get this field complete as soon as possible. I don't know if it's going to be in this video, though. That's the thing. There's a lot of field left to cover, and with us having to cart, these trees always get in the way. With us having to cart to the silo every 2 loads, or every 2 unloads of the harvester, I should say, it's going to take forever. So what I'm probably going to do is work on this harvest off screen, since we know it's going to take a while. That way you guys don't have to sit here and watch a 20-minute time lapse of me just harvesting and carting back and forth. And before we wrap up the video, we'll talk about tractor options for the other farm, for the sheep farm, and what I would like to see from the rest of this series. So like I said, I'm going to work on harvesting this field off screen. I will see you guys again when it is almost complete. Alright guys, so after some thought while trying to get this field harvested, I realized this field, it's a lot bigger than I initially thought. We're maybe about a third of the way through the harvest. Got a half a truckload of barley sitting over there in the truck. This is gonna have to be a 2-episode job. So I'm gonna get this harvester full. I don't know, these swaths are messy, but it is what it is. Get one more full load from the harvester, fill the truck up, and then we'll look into our options for tractors for the sheep field, and what the best choices are going to be there. Now, like I said, I have a modded tractor that I want to use it. I don't know if this map's going to be a good map for it, but I want to try it out anyway. It's an older tractor, so I don't think the cost is going to be too high to where we can't really afford to do it this early on. I'm not entirely sure. I hadn't really looked at it that much. And it's got a high enough horsepower that it will run the baler and the bigger mowers no problem. So I think it would be perfect for the sheep field. The only issue, like I said, is going to be the size. We'll go ahead and call this good here. This is where we're going to finish up our harvest for the day. We'll go ahead and turn our harvester off, and we'll know when we come back in the next episode. The first thing we'll do is get this field finished. I'll just put it on a big time lapse at the beginning, and we'll get it finished. It'll be a lot of harvesting and carting, but then we can move on to cultivating this field, and field number 4 is going to be cultivated. It will no longer be a grass field, being that we have field 26 over at the sheep farm where we're going to be using most of our grass. But I'm going to get this this filled up and dumped, and then we will look at that tractor that is a strong contender in my mind for the sheep farm if it's not too big. It might be. It's a very large tractor. It's an older John Deere tractor, so we'll have to see size-wise, but we won't really know until we get it. And for a while, it's going to be on lease. The same with the auto stacker, and we can probably return the bale wrapper. But as long as we're making the money that we need to be making to cover the cost of that lease, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I'll go ahead and turn this off. We'll get it unloading, and we'll hop into the store to look at this tractor. Like I said, it's a big tractor. It's this guy right here, the John Deere 8960. It's 370 horsepower in the base configuration. We probably won't go with the dual wheels. There's plenty of configurations. We'll probably just go maybe with the TM 600 dual. Costs $9.59 per day, $2,000 per hour to lease, with an initial cost of right around $5,000, which is something we can afford. Attachers, when you're going to need a PTO. Can we do a 3-point with a PTO? Yeah, okay. This will be the 8760 engine setup, which is 300 horsepower. Still more than enough to run everything that we'll need to run on the farm. See, there's a US version, Australian version extended. Yeah, we just go with the standard on that. No, we're not going to do any window tint. The Green Star, it doesn't really do anything. It's just aesthetic more than anything. And the additional front lights gives us a couple of extra work lights on the front here. This configuration is gonna bump our leasing costs up a little bit, but not by that much. So I think this is what we're gonna do. We're probably gonna go ahead and, I mean, you can change the colors. Make it look more faded. The other thing we can do is I have the buy used equipment mod in. So if we do that, that bumps the total cost down to $67,000 to purchase it, or a little over $3,400 to lease it. The problem I foresee with this tractor is going to be, I don't know if it'll be able to pull our water tanker. It should. It looks like it's got a standard attacher right here at the bottom of the 3-point. But I don't know. I've never even tested this mod before. I've never used this tractor. But I think we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on it and go ahead and lease it. If it doesn't work, we can always return it. It's not the end of the world. We can get something a little smaller. But I think this is going to be a good tractor for our sheep farm. So we're going to go ahead and lease that. And the last thing we're going to do in this video is get it and our water tanker back to our sheep farm. That is a very loud tractor. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't tested this at all. Okay, yeah, it'll pull our water tanker, no problem. So what we're going to do, since we're here at the shop, and it needs to be repaired anyway, and we're going to have to get some fuel in it, but that'll be okay. Let's turn that off. I feel like I'm having to yell over the tractor, so that's something that we're going to have to work on. Hopefully, of course, why would you not pick the tractor? Why would you pick the trailer? Maybe it'll just hit the wrong button. Okay, so let's just start that up again, back up a little bit. And I'm trying to not talk louder because the tractor is very loud. It's going to cost $617 to repair. I don't have my own repair shop right now. Seems to be a little quieter inside. But we're going to get this back over to our sheep farm, get everything put up, ready to go. We have a little bit of money to purchase some sheep. But what we need to do before we do that is make sure we have what we need for the sheep. Now the thing we're going to have to be careful with on this is these are narrow roads and there is a lot of traffic on these roads. With these dual tires, we're going to have to be careful with that. That we don't make sure we don't accidentally clip a car, especially when the cement trucks come by. They're bigger trucks. They take up more lane. It's going to make it difficult to not accidentally clip one of those cement trucks. So we're going to have to be careful of that. But we're going to get this back over to the farm, and then that's where I'm going to leave this episode off, guys. I know it doesn't really feel like we got a whole lot done. We got our bales wrapped and sold. We purchased a whole nother farm area and another field that's going to remain a grass field. Field 26 is going to remain a grass field as long as we have that sheep farm. It produces a lot of grass, which I plan on having a lot of sheep, so we're going to need that. I'm still going to keep the 10,000 liter bales, I think. So we'll have plenty of grass and not a lot of bales to store. So that's always a good thing, especially with these smaller farmyards where you don't really have a lot of storage space. And I suck at backing up trailers with articulated tractors, but I want it to be easy to get my trailer out. I hope this is going to work with like the mower and things like that. We'll just test it real quick and make sure everything's going to hook up right and run right. I put the 3-point hitch on there because I know the mower needs the 3-point hitch. So we'll just let's just test and see, make sure everything's going to, let me hit okay. All right, yeah, let it get all the way unfolded. Mower turns on, runs. Okay, so that's good there. I know it has the power. If that case can run the baler, this can run it, no problem. 300 horsepower. I think it'll be a good investment when we have the money to take it off of lease and purchase it. But I think this is going to be a good tractor for this farm. It's not too big for the yard. It's not too big for the grass field. It's a fairly large field. And it can do almost everything we're going to need it to do on this field or this farm. We are going to eventually need a telehandler or a skid steer or something to move bales around, move the pallets of wool around, load them up on the trailers, things like that. And just keep the farm looking nice and neat. We're also going to need some sort of flatbed trailer. So I might look into some options there before the next episode. Because in the next episode, I plan to get the barley field harvested. We'll get the baler back over to that farm to bale up those straw bales. Now, those bales are going to be sold. I have no need for straw bales. I have plenty of bales in storage at the other farm that I could sell or hang on to for horses or cows, not horses. But that's something I'm going to have to decide. But yeah, guys, like I said, this is where I'm going to leave this one off. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what I did bad, what I did good, what I could do better, what I could do worse. Get subscribed for new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. And I will see you guys in the next video.